For today's meditation, we have meditation number 2, verse number 2 of Pratah Smaranam. Last week we did Pratah Smaranam number 1, verse number 1, where early in the morning, what is the meditation I should do? What should I think about? In the first verse, Shankaracharya said, as soon as you get up in the morning, think about Turiyam. Turiyam is my real nature, from where every day I am born into this world. Through the mind, I get attached to the world. Turiyam is my real nature, pure consciousness, without the world, as I see it now in the waking state, without the dream world, without the sleep world. So what is Turiyam? Turiyam is what? My real nature without waking, dream, and sleep. In the morning when I get up, what is the first thing I should think? Before I start thinking of the day's problems and what I should do, automatically the mind will start. Today is Tuesday or today is Wednesday. I have a class in the evening. I have to go to the office. I have to cook so and so. These are all the things which mind will think early in the morning. Because you become the doer. All of us. The moment we wake up, what happens? In sleep, you're not a doer. Therefore, you don't have all these thoughts. The moment you wake up, you become the doer, karta. So the Turiyam, pure consciousness, becomes the doer. It does certain actions throughout the day and again goes back to sleep. Again goes back to that real nature of Turiyam. In the second verse, what he says, I worship in the morning the effulgent Brahma Atma Tattvam. Same thing which he said in the as Turiyam in the first verse. What is the nature of this Brahma Atma Tattvam? Number 1, it is unborn. Ajaha. Ajo nitya shashvatoyam puranaha na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Same Ajaha of 20th verse of Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, you should remember. Lord Krishna taught to Arjuna in the very 2nd chapter his nature. Similarly, Shankaracharya is saying your nature is Turiyam, unborn, changeless. Changeless means what? There is no vikalpa. In consciousness, there is no change happening. In the mind, there is change happening. Vikalpas means thoughts. The whole day are full of thoughts. That is all mind. But consciousness is pure, changeless. The third thing he talks about is, about this Atma is, it is inaccessible to the mind and to the speech. This portion he borrows directly from Taittiriya Upanishad. Yato vacho nivartante, that particular mantra, the same thing he is saying here. And in the Upanishads, Shankaracharya says, even though it cannot be expressed directly in the form of a thought or in the form of words, the Upanishads have an indirect method to reveal this Brahman. How? As not this, not this. So throughout, what is that? Throughout, suppose I want to know who am I, don't try to use direct method of revelation making it as an object. That is what we should understand in this verse. See, so much is packed in this small little verse. Number one, he says it is unborn, it is changeless, it is inaccessible to the mind and to speech. Then he says, even though Atma is like this, I still can know. Upanishads are revealing it in an indirect way as not this, not this. What is the easiest way to understand the not this? I am not the baker. Number one. I am not the dreamer. Number two. I am not the sleeper. Number three. This is the technique which was taught by Prajapati in Chandogya Upanishad, chapter number 8. When the Devatas went to Prajapati, the creator, teach me Brahma Vidya in chapter 8, which is called as Prajapati Vidya. Prajapati told Devatas that you meditate like this. And you will reach. For sure you will reach. If that is what Prajapati taught, I also can learn. Okay. So you have got pointers from this to know on getting up what should I think. Even if you remember one point, I am not born, but my mind is born to a new day, that is enough. That's all. I, the consciousness, am not born. My mind is getting born to face a new day. That's all. Keep one small little indicator. Remember, the trick of meditation is whatever I'm doing in these meditation sessions, in the next 6 days, till you come back to the 7th day, try to every day meditate on the same thing for 6 days before you come. See, this meditation will not take more than 5 minutes in a day. At any time, you can just, best time to meditate is early in the morning. 5 minutes you just spend. And before you start the day, just try to spend that 5 minutes remembering your real nature. That's all. Okay? Please close your eyes. Sit erect. When the body is bent, it cannot think properly. So that is why we stress on the body being erect, the spine being erect as much as possible. If you are sitting on the ground, folded legs. If you're sitting in a chair in front of a laptop, make sure your feet are not above the ground, above on the floor. Let them remain flat on the floor. Observe your breath. 2 or 3 breaths. Aham ajaha. I am unborn. here I stands for consciousness, awareness principle. I can feel self-awareness. There is not a single moment throughout the waking state when I am not self-aware. Self-awareness is the reflection of consciousness in the mind. When the mind is not thinking, there are no thoughts. I am aware of my nature, of consciousness. Consciousness is not an object of the mind. It is the subject. I can only claim Aham Brahma Asmi. I am the awareness principle. Unborn. This is the first lesson in verse number 2 of Pratah Smaranam. I am changeless. There is no vikalpa. Consciousness always is indivisible. This is the second nature. Consciousness cannot be an object of thought. It is the very content of thought. This is the main revelation of the Veda. This is my Swarupam. I can only claim my nature. I cannot objectify it. Objectification requires the mind. Whatever the mind thinks, it can be expressed in words. Brahman cannot be thought. Therefore, it cannot be explained by words. This is the third lesson in verse number 2. The last lesson, number 4. This awareness principle is taught by the Veda, not directly, but by a process of neti neti. I use that process to go deep into my own nature as taught by the Veda. The easiest way is to repeat mentally. I am not the waker, the dreamer, the sleeper. I am not an individual, a person. Which is anatma. Neti neti is the method. Whatever remains after I utter this sentence is my real nature, Swarupam. I can never negate my own Swarupam. That Swarupam is called as Turiyam. Pure awareness. Objectless awareness. Objectless bliss. The real nature of happiness. My Swarupam. I repeat these 4 lessons every day when I wake up. This becomes my nature because I remember it every day. This is the transformation from Jiva Bhava to Brahma Bhava, the truth. Aham Ajaha, unborn. Nityaha, changeless. Turiyam, consciousness. I repeat, Ajaha, Nityaha, Turiyam. Ajaha, Nityaha, Turiyam. Om. My mind repeats, Ajaha, Nityaha, Turiyam. Om. Om. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Please rub your palms. Gently open your eyes.